Hello, hi. This is Lady Intrigue coming to you. And this video is my very first video for this channel. And I'm just doing a little test here to give you an idea of what this channel is about. Today, I want to talk about and speak on the church and how your life can be negatively affected, unfortunately, if it is not a system that you are fully on board and aligned with. Um, Now, I will say this. I've grown up in the church my whole life, and I've had wonderful people, whether they be ministers, pastors, just fellow worshipers in the church. So this is not to discount them, you know, um, because it is my first belief system. It's what I was taught, what I grew up with. And I will say that I do believe in God. I do believe there is a creator. You know, I know whether you call God he, she, God, El, Ta. There's so many names around the world that are used to give a title to what we all refer to as a divine creator of all life, all existence, everything. And then, of course, there are those who don't believe in that, that there is a creator at all. But this is me. This is my story, observations, feelings, and opinions. And please do feel free to pose any questions or feelings that you may have with respect, of course, to others. We are each here with our own journey. I think part of the problem with humanity, so to speak, is that we spend so much time trying to force other people to conform into what we view as the right way. Now, I'm not talking about criminal things, of course, because no, wrong is wrong. But when we're talking about belief systems, when we're talking about orientation, gender preference, that is up to each individual person, and they each have a right. I have a right to believe what I believe as much as you have a right to believe what you believe. So, what I can speak on are my feelings, opinions, and observations, my experiences, right? And that is the same way for you. Now, for me, I grew up in the church my whole life. My parents, we went to church. However, I was not forced into becoming baptized. I made that decision myself. I was about 8, 9 years old, and I was spending time with my grandmother. And I just felt it because one thing I will say is I've always felt a sense of the Creator within me, within my heart. So, yes, I did. And I've had experiences growing up that were definitely spiritual, supernatural, you know. But one of the things I want to talk about is the things that you go through, there's so much that you're told that you cannot do. You cannot be, if you're to be on this right narrow path, this strict rigid way, which is you're told is the only way to connect to God. It's the only way to be rewarded in the afterlife, with the mansions, and streets paved with gold. Okay, that'll be another video. um But the thing is, God created us a certain way, right? If we believe that, we're created with urges, whether they're considered primal, we have a spiritual, what you think of as a spiritual man, and this primal earthly man, and it's wedged all here together. And I think most belief systems have that same thought, that same belief. When you go into ancient Egyptian religion, they believed you had, I believe it's the Ka. You have your spirit, which resides on top of your body, and then you have your physical body, right? And so it's like merging these two things together into one and trying to deal with the conflict of living more spiritual, but yet more physical, because you're right here, you're dealing with it. If you've ever heard the saying that, you can't be too so spiritual that you're no good here on earth, because as much as we want to ascend and think on things higher, we're still here right now dealing with day-to-day quote unquote survival. So, here's the thing with the things that we're told we can and cannot do. So we're told that, there's no sex before marriage. That's a sin. We're told, certain music, if you grow up in church, especially, an African American church, you can only listen to gospel music and only listen to music that is only about God or Jesus, music about love and intimacy, hip hop, all the stuff you're not supposed to be listening to and engaging in. You're not supposed to be a homosexual. You're only supposed to be heterosexual. There's so many things that you are not supposed to do, that you're supposed to abstain from. The only thing they don't tell you can't abstain from is food. So you find that a lot of people in the church, hello, me here too, end up being overweight because that's the only thing that's not so heavily scrutinized. You can eat, you can have all the cakes and pies and fried chicken and different stuff you want, but you're not supposed to be out there having sex. You're not supposed to be out there, of course, gossiping. Gossiping is just petty anyway. No one should really gossip about other people. Why put your energy toward, tearing down someone else? But I digress. So, but the conflict is that most people engage in sex without marriage, or they find that they've cheated on their mate or something like that, because you're so restricted, but you get to this point where you can't take it anymore, So what happens is, this creates almost like a bipolarism, because you're fighting to be so spiritual and abstain and heed all these rules, but then you're giving in to temptation, quote unquote, and you're out there doing things and then you're guilty, and sometimes I feel that it even has ruined potential relationships that you could have had. That might have been the love of your life right there. But you're pushing and pulling them away so much because you're dealing with your inner confusion and contradiction, that you've totally ruined and messed up your situation. Yeah, so that's like a really big problem, just like even the music, right? Most people, a lot of times people, they leave church, get in their car, they're right back to listening to, Al Green or, Snoop Dogg or whoever they are into, or they're still watching those videos. And we're not even going to talk about people watching porn, okay? So that's the issue and that's the conflict. And, you have people that will still keep fighting for it and fighting for staying strong against temptation, quote unquote. But then you have those who, they keep falling, you keep going back and forth. And that is not mentally healthy and it is not spiritually healthy. And, I believe that God, if God is truly so concerned with all of this, that God would prefer that you just be yourself, right? Now, I'm not saying be yourself and go around killing people, but be yourself, okay? You have people with spiritual gifts that don't use them, or told that they're evil. You have, now Jesus said that all those things he did, we could do and more. But so many people aren't doing it. They're just relying on one or two people that are elevated within a church to do it, when you have the power right within you. But that, again, is another video. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on this briefly. You know, be yourself, okay? You have to trust that who you are is just fine, okay? And I've always felt that if you are truly seeking to align yourself with the Creator, the Supreme Creator, because there are uh, assigned angels, spirits, you might even call them deities, that are assigned by God to help us here. But if you are seeking to align with the true God, the creator of all life, just ask. Just say within yourself, you know what? If I'm doing something that really doesn't line up, let me know. Show me mercy and forgiveness. And I tell you, you will be so surprised that after you do that, and as you continue going along your life, your path, that you'll be shown that you are just fine. Anyway, so that is my topic for today. I do hope that it was one that was intriguing. And please comment questions, things you'd like to talk about. And let's go from there. All right. This is Lady Intrigue saying, why not? Have a great day, and Ashe.